what is identity, what is identity, and what is access. Access. So identity and access, and the management, what we, how we are managing this identity, we call as an identity management. So how we are controlling this identity, we call them as identity management. So the access for this identity, so basically the access for this identity, we call it as access management. So access management. So how these two are clubbed together, we can see on it how these two are clubbed together, identity management and access management. So basically we call it as IDAM solutions. In any organization we call it as IDAM solutions. IDAM engineer. IDAM engineer means basically he is an identity and access management engineer. So he will be working on both identity level and access level of an identity. So what is this identity basically? So identity is nothing but uh, electronic representation of an on a of a user. For example, let's take Vasudha join an organization. So what required Vasudha to perform his work on organization. So Vasudha required username, sorry, okay, username, username, and Vasudha required password. Okay, so straight away they won't create your username and password, right? So basically they will collect some data for you. So how they will collect? What is first name, last name. Then they will create an email ID for you to join the company, and they will create a employee ID, employee ID. And if it is like if you are logging into the laptop, they will be having a GUID. GUID we called GUID. Okay, and then um, what are the things they will collect? So your identity proof, identity proof, that is some government. All this club together, they will create an identity in their organization. So they will collect a piece of information of you, and they will create an identity in their organization. So once they create an identity, they will share a email ID and password at the time, right? So that username and password you will utilize, and you will be logging into their organization laptop. For example, this is Rosida, and sorry, um, this identity is Rosida, and he is going to access the company property laptop. So how she is going to access? She is going to access using. Rakesh, can I enter him?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, this basically identity of Rosida. Okay. Identity of Rosida, and you are going to access the company property using your username and password. So you'll be having authentication to the company's network. So how you are going to use using your identity, you are going to use the company property. So that's what we call that as an identity. The identity we call it as an identity. So this identity can be managed with, by IDAM engineers. So let's say Vasta is an IDAM engineer in an organization. So how she is going to manage this identity, for example. So let's say you joined a company, and you will be having a life cycle for this identity. What are the life cycles of this identity means? Joiner, we call it as, and a mover and lever. So lever. Okay. So joiner is a new employee joining into that organization, and what are the things he going to happen on this identity? Mover. So already identity is created and it is moved. Means he got a new role in the organization, or his identity is identity got changed. I mean, like his last name, first name, something like that. So that is what we call as a mover. And then leaver. A leaver is kind of when you leave the organization. So how they are going to make a control of on our identity. Let's say was the joined an organization, then they will create your identity with the help of joiner. So you are a joiner, right? They will create an identity for you in the IDAM system. Let's assume this is an IDAM system. This box is an IDAM system. So I'm saying it is an Okta. Okay. In Okta, your your identity is going to be created. So you will come to here and your identity is going to be created here. So once your identity is going to be created here, then what you need to do? For say, um, okay. So Vasudha is working on PeopleSoft, or she's working on financial vehicle applications, ERP, uh, ERP, or she's working on some sale point, uh, I mean like Salesforce or some like ServiceNow. These are the endpoints that are there in their organization. These are different kind of applications. We call them endpoint or applications. These endpoints are going to be managed with the help of your okay, so these are the applications. Let's say assume this is an application one, service now, and this is an application Salesforce, and this is an application some Exchange or AD pattern of application. So once you come to the Okta, your identity will be created in different endpoints. How it is going to be created, we will discuss later. So your identity will be going to be created in all these applications based on your role. For example, if you are an administrator for all these applications, you will get access to all these applications. If you are particularly and working on Exchange, or you are working on Salesforce. So this is the Salesforce, right? Then your identity will created only in Salesforce like that. So from here, how you are coming? So let's say uh, your identity is first created on this is identity, right? First created on uh, HRMS tools. So every organization consists of HRMS tools. We call HRMS, human resource management tools. So we have different kind of applications for human resource. One is PeopleSoft, and one is Workday, and Workday, PeopleSoft, Staff Success Factor, and Monday.com. There are like
Yeah, what is
okay,
HRMS, sir? Can you describe it and how it will help us? I mean, in
yeah, yeah,
organization,
yeah.
how it, yeah.
Yeah. HRMS is a kind of human resource management services. So human resource management means so once you log in, once you come to the organization, our HR people is the first point of contact, right? Let's say was the joining. Assume that she is joining some TKS company. So TKS company is having HRS team. So HRMS team first in Wasda will be interacting with HRMS team. I mean like HR team. HR team is having the control of this HRMS tool. So PeopleSoft or SAP SuccessFactor or Workday. So what they will do, first they will create your identity in the HRMS tool. So once your identity is created here, that is creation. So we have the CRUD operations here, similar to other applications, CRUD, create, update, read, delete. So CRUD operations are there for the on identity. So once you come to the organization, they will create an identity in this HRMS, and based on some scheduled jobs, your identity will be pushed to Okta. So the flow will be HRMS to Okta. So let's say this is
So I can understand like this, right? Whenever I joined the company, so they will take all my details and keep in the HRMS, And
Ah,
after running some jobs, they are going to create identities in the Okta, correct?
in Okta, in
Yeah.
Okta.
Okay,
So
thank you.
in Okta, they will create your identity. Once your identity comes here, based on your roles, we will define the roles. So your role is defined here. In HRMS, they will define your role as a developer. So developer will be having access for all these instances of applications because he is working on development of this application, right? Like that. So he is an administrator. He will be having access for few applications. So like that. Or he is an end user. So end user means he will be having certain kind of roles, right? So based on that, your roles, Okta will try to create your identity into the downstream application. This is HRM is an upstream application, and between Okta is there, and downstream are our apps. These apps we call as downstream application. In downstream application, your identity will get created. So let's say assume user is required access for this application. So uh, your identity will get created here, here, on here. Okay. So here it will create identity. Your account. Sorry. So basically your identity here and respective accounts will be created on all the applications accounts. We call it as accounts. This is one more account. So Swasda will get access for all this application at one shot. Once once he came to the Okta, Okta will decide where you need to go and create your account, and then it will create your account on the respective application. So in this way, we are getting our work done within one day. For example, uh, when nowadays when you join an organization, the day one you are going to get your identity created and your access will get created, and the next day you start working on the things. So this is how it is get automated in the nowadays. If you take previously, how the previous I mean like so there is no identity management solution in the industry. Then how it is there before Okta or before identity management solution, how it is there. So uh, you will be created in HRMS. So this is the HRMS. HRMS tools are there. So HRMS tools in HRMS your identity will get created. Then what they used to do, they used to do uh, send our data to the let's say if they have ID means they used to send for the ID Active Directory. So they will send our data to the Active Directory. Once it is created in Active Directory from HR to Active Directory, then they will send a mail to all the managers. Let's assume he is a manager and he is the manager for another application and he is the manager of another application. So who will going to send this mail? HRMS team is going to send the mail to them. So uh, for this manager and this manager. So let's say what they required all the three applications and access for the three applications, three managers. They need to drop three mails for them. So day one, you start day one once you came to the organization, they will create identity. Then your identity will get created in AD. Let's say assume this is created in AD. And after that, they are going to send mails to the all the managers to get create your account in all these applications, app one, app two, app three. So if you take, let's say you require access, but this manager, they send a mail to this manager uh, by delay of 1 or 2 days. So once this manager goes to the application team, and then he will ask to create account to them. Okay, these people, and this manager also going to ask to create app application admin to create the account. So coming to here, it will take some time because he need to see his mail and then get approval, and then he need to push this account to the application admin, and they will see the identity, and then they will create the identity here. And like this, it will take a time process to create your identity into all these applications. So let's say it will take sometimes it will take months also. It will take 15 days, 1 month. So day one
Okay.
to join, but your access is got on day 30th. So all
Oh,
this 30, 29 days is waste for the organization, right?
Okay,
Because you are
correct,
unable to perform it. Yeah, because
yeah,
you are unable to perform your work because there is no automation in the process.
correct.
So yeah, once you come to the IDAM solutions or Okta something, so you will straight away when you come to the organization HRMS application, your identity will be created in Okta. Okta automatically puts their accounts to the respective application. In the day two, you will get access to the all the systems. So you will start working on the thing, and everyone will be happy, right? So this is how it's going to uh, help identity management solutions to the organization.
Okay, I
So
have one doubt, sir. Can I
yeah,
ask? Yeah,
yeah,
okay. This could be reason when we joined the company 15 years back or 15 years back.
yeah,
So we
15
used
years.
to take 1 month time to get all my access. So probably that was the reason we submit all the details and this mail sending to their managers and their managers sometimes in part team they may not be available. So they
Yeah,
take time. That could be reason. Yeah, I got it.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is the reason for creation. Let's say assume. Let's say later on state she want to change her last name, something surname, right? So if she want to change her surname in the system, then again she need to reach out to the HRMS team. HRMS team again needs to drop a mail to the manager. Again, the managers need to drop a mail to the application admin to reflect into the end all the end applications. It will be taking a lot of time to take copy. We are saying it is for an update of identity. If there is an update for identity, it is taking a lot of time. And let's say assume if it is a lever, it is the most critical thing in the organization. When a leaver leaves the organization, if this manager fails to send mail to the application owner too, so his identity will be here only, right? So
Sir, one
he will
doubt,
be
sir. What is liver, sir? Can you explain me what is the liver?
so leaver. Uh, the leaver is uh, let's say leaver is an employee only. So once he resigns the organization, let's say I got an offer to some other company, and what I will do, I will put down my paper, right? Once I put down paper, I will be serving the notice period. And the end of the day, 38 or 2 months or 90 days, the time period is there, right? In this 90 days, I will serve on the last day or last day of last day of my working in organization, they they will deactivate my account. I mean, like my identity. So
Okay, okay, got
yeah,
it. So
so
whenever I leave from the organization, suppose I join, even if I'm leaving from the organization, that time they are going to remove all my accesses from
all
their
your
system. Okay, that is
all
called liver. Okay, thank you for
yeah.
that. Yeah.
So all your access will be get revoked into the application. This, this is the lever flow will be get triggered on Okta. So
Okay,
if you take in Okta process, so was the resigned from the TKS company, then her identity, so status will be there, right? Status in the identity they will put as status as a disable, deactivate, or terminate. These are the three things based on their requirement they will put it. So let's say terminate. So once they put the status of terminate here, it will be thrown to the Okta system. Okta system will make user identity as a inactive or deactivate or suspend. Once here it is suspended, his access in this all three applications will get revoked at the at one shot. I mean, like within one job, it will react. It will kill the your account access in all three applications. So this is how the automation works for lever also, mover
okay,
or joiner.
okay.
If you
Yeah, as
take
soon as I modified something in the Acta, that yes, this immediately it is going to remove all my accounts in all other systems. So
all
correct.
other systems,
Okay. In the
correct.
olden days, they have to send a mail that later point of time some manager is on the leave or somebody is a mandatory. I mean,
Correct,
some
correct.
some problems. So it might be delayed. Nowadays, it's going to be automatic. As soon as I remove,
Automatic,
I'll
automatic.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay,
Let's
that is the reason we
let's
have a market for this. Okay.
Yes, that's the reason we have the opportunity, vast opportunity for the this tool. So let's assume, Rakesh, you are an financial manager, something like that, or financial application you are dealing with. You are a developer, financial application you are dealing with. You leave the organization, but this manager, this is a financial application. Let's say some kind of financial applications, what we call a Tally or something is there, right? Tally is one of the financial applications. So, so um, let's say they triggered a mail to manager, but manager is on leave. So, no way. You leave the organization 30th of this month, but your access is there on the Tally. On the next day, when you leave the organization, you can access the system, right? Because everything is uh, projected to the outer world, right? Your URL will be projected to the outer world to get access for the every employee. Then you will get access. Even though you leave the organization, you have access for the value system. It's like a uh, it's kind of a data theft or financial theft or something like you can manipulate the system also, right? That's the reason this
Yeah,
model is this model is more difficult for the organization to manage the identities. That's
yeah.
why they came with the game for the solution, identity management solution.
Okay,
So
got it.
identity management solution will do everything for you. So they will create, modify, or update or deactivate your identity in everywhere. So in all the applications. So this is the reason the market it is having good for identity management solution. So if you take, there are different identity management solutions in the market. We got we you know if you take 10 years back, there are on-premise solutions. On-premise solutions. So on-premise solutions nothing but you need to install your software. I mean like um, identity management software on the physical servers on your environment, servers on your environment. So I'm saying this is 10 years back, uh, 5 years, 10 years back. You need to install our identity management solution in physical server. Nowadays also we have the on-premise solutions. There are few clients who are using on-premise solutions. Means uh, on-premise solutions means their infrastructure will be managed by the in-house engineers. So this is a organization. In the organization, they have the servers, small servers. So let's say this. Okay, so this is not going to. This is a small server. Let's say so. Okay, so this kind small servers, servers will be there on your organization, and you need to install your identity management management tool on the servers, and your engineers need to be look over all the installations or patching or something like any upgrade, everything they need to look over their on-premise solutions. But now the Okta is an cloud solution, so you don't to do you don't need to do anything here. So Okta, they will give you a tenant for you, just URL. With the URL you can with URL you can access your all the resource on the cloud, and then do whatever stuff you want. No need of checking the patches, no need of checking your uh, uh, like the server issues. If you take on-premise solutions, uh, the logs will get piled up, right? Once logs will get piled up, all the servers memory get eaten up, and
Can you
once the
describe
memory
what
got
is on? Sorry, sir. Can you describe what is on-premises solution and can you give more? Elaborate on that.
yeah got it. Yeah, got it. So on-premise solutions is nothing but uh, uh, you have a software of identity management. This software you can get from the vendors. So let's say SailPoint is there, a software. Oracle is there, a software. Oracle. Oracle IDM, identity management. We call it as Oracle identity management and access management. Access management, and we have ForgeRock, and we have Savient. These are the tools actually. These are the on-premise solutions tools. So if you want to utilize the functionality of these tools, you need to put the software on the you need to install this software on the servers. Let's say in an organization you have uh, small servers. The servers will be this is the server, and this is the server, and this is the server. Let's say jump. So you need to take the software and need to install this software on the server, and need to copy same image into this server and this server. All these servers will be there for you to serve the request request the request which is coming to your identity management solutions. So how this request will come? For example, if you want to do anything on the system, right? So your identity need to be authenticated. So you need to use username and password. So once you are accessing any resource like URL, HTTPS, uh, something localhost, uh, and port slash something your identity management IDM solution only, right? So once you hit this, what it will do, it will navigate to the server on-premise solutions. It will go to this. Let me put like this, uh, this. Okay. So let's say assume all these are on load balancer. So once you hit the URL, this URL is going to be uh, get uh, I mean like this URL going to be hit to the load balancer. So the load balancer will distribute your request to this server or this server. So this are on-premise on the on-premise side. That's why um, this request will hit to this server, and it will process your request, and it will make you log into the identity management solution. So this is how it will be on the on-premise. We call it as an on-premise solutions because we are installing the server and putting our software on the servers and accessing them. But in cloud, it is different. In cloud, how it will be? In cloud, they will give the just URL. That URL will be hosted on different locations. I mean, like Okta is basically Okta is on AWS. So uh, they have different cells uh, in the world. For example, in US they have uh, cell 7, cell 8, cell 9. In Asia also they have some cells. So in these cells they will keep the software, and once you access it, right, it will check the nearby data center and will get it. No need of having this on-premise solutions. Just they will
Okay.
give the you can
Okay.
customize that based on the
Okay.
requirement.
Servers is going to be in the cloud. My request will go to server. Server will help me.
Yes.
That's what, right?
Yeah. I-
Okay.
in cloud
Okay.
solution, you don't need to bother about servers because Okta will manage that. You just need to bother about
Correct.
your service, whether my URL is working or not, my users are able to access Okta or not. So even that is support
Okay.
is also will take care by Okta. If you take on-premise solution,
Okay.
our engineers to be bothered about how the servers are. So
Yeah.
if any memory is eating up by this server, we need to clean up these servers, right? For example, if you take your laptop, if you are dumping all the waste material, I mean like the data into the laptop, it will be piled up and your C drive or something will get crashed, right? Similarly, servers also,
Yeah. Yeah.
when you are getting hits with your request, it will file your request will be piled up and it will return in the logs or something like that. So we need to delete those uh, logs or eaten up memory and then make free of the servers to get access. So on-premise
Okay.
solutions will be
Okay.
having a lot of maintenance activity. So you need to check the uh, you need to check the patching, you need to check the server's health, you need to um, you need to make every time the servers are up and running. So you need to give the proper, I mean, like um, continuity of services to your end user, right? That's why.
Correct. Got it. Sir, our meeting will get closed within 2 minutes. In case if it's closed, we'll reopen, sir.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, fine. So this is what identity management solution is. So Okta can create identity and then it will push to the all the end applications. Fine. So what is this access management? This access management basically authentication. Authentication means user authentication. Just username and password you are getting authenticated. That is tied up to your identity. So authentication and then access authorization. These two terminologies we need to keep into mind. So what is this authorization? What is this authentication? So when you log into the system using a username and password, we call it as an authentication. So once you log into the system, it will check for your authorization. I mean, like, do we have access a particular resource in that application, or like, so let's say bank application is there, right? You if you log in as an end user, you can see only the transactions which are performed by you. If it is a bank employee, he can log into the um, same bank application, then he can see everyone's transaction because he's an admin, right? So his authorization is an administrator and your authorization is an end user. So if you are an end user, you are authorized to view your account only. If you are an administrator, you have the authorization to view everyone's account. So we call this authorization, or specific, specifically for roles, what kind of authorized roles you have. Authentication is like everyone will get authenticated to the system. That is, so authentication, authorization, and access management. These concepts will come under the access management solution. So, and single sign-on, we call it as a access management is nothing but a single sign-on SSO. So, what is this SSO means? Uh, Login once and access all the applications which are assigned to you. Single sign on. Once once you log into the system, like any identity provider, then the applications which are assigned to you, you can access all those applications with one set of credentials. So once you can authenticate with this identity management, and then you can do the single sign-on to all the other applications. So one set of credentials is enough for accessing other all applications. So that is what we call as a single sign-on. So if you take here in our diagram, so if identity is created for you, so Okta will give you a dashboard to the Vasudha. So once Vasudha is logging to the Okta, she will get an access to the dashboard of Okta. So Okta dashboard, she will get access. So let's say you access this application. Uh, so you access this application using URL Okta. Okta URL, you access the Okta. So once you access the Okta, let's say Vasudha is an end user and she have access all these applications, right? So this is the dashboard will be provided for you. Then all these applications are listed in our dashboard as a checklist. We call it as a checklist. So this is the app one, this is app two, and this is app three. So at first time, you need to get authenticated with Okta. That's all. That is one set of credentials. Fine. And then once you click on these applications, no need of putting your credentials because already you are authenticated with Okta once, right? It can give you the seamless authentication to the other applications. What is the seamless mean? Without entering username and password for this application, and this. Once you click on this application, it will give straight away you will be logging into this application and this application. Let's say why we get into this solution, single sign-on solution. So let's say you are an you are an admin for an in an organization. You will be having access for the, let's say, 15 to 20 applications. So 20 applications are there, and you need to perform your day-to-day activities on this all these 20 applications. So you need to hit on the URL HTTPS on the browser for all these 20 applications, right? So let's say app one, like this. You need to put on 20th application, right? Like this, slash slash app 20th. So app 1 to app 28, you need to bookmark all these application URLs, and then you need to hit on every URL and punch on the credentials. Let's say if you are not sharp in putting your username password in the keyboard, let's say it will take automatically 5 to 10 minutes. You need to put username and you need to put password. First of all, before that, you need to get the URL, right? Every day, searching this URLs and keeping your username and password. So for 20 applications, if you take 5 minutes, 20 into 5, how many? So 100 minutes. So per day, we are wasting 100 minutes. Means almost all 2 hours of time we are wasting on logging into the system. So to reduce that time, we came with automation of single sign-on. So all these 20 applications will be assigned to the user in the dashboard like this. So we can see how this in the letter of the post. We can see how these applications are integrated and how these applications are assigned to the user and how they are going to access this application in the user endpoint and administrator endpoint, uh, how we are going to integrate this application with Okta, we can see on the later stage of the course. So let's say Vasta is going to access all these 20 applications within less than half second, half minute. Let's say just you need to log into the system and then hit on application type. That's all. It will give access. Like this 20 applications, it will take almost less than 1 minute. Less than 1 minute, you can log into all these 20 applications at one shot. If you take the older solution, I mean, like every application, if you want to log in, means it will take 100 minutes. Means almost all a valuable of 2 hours you are wasting in a day. That's why they came up with successful solution, single sign-on. Once login and access every application within without entering your credentials. So that is what we called as a access management, in the identity world. So
Sir, I
yeah,
have a doubt. I can ask you that.
yeah, yeah,
Suppose in Google we are logged in, and there we have four dots. I mean, like in the bar, in the Google, if you log in, after,
yeah.
beside of the login screen, will have around six dots. There I can see Google Apps, right? And with my login, I'm able to access all Google Apps, so I can call it as a single sign-in, right?
Yeah, all this called a single sign.
Okay.
How it is going to be managed, because Google is a single shoot, right? Gmail you got access, means all this rest of the applications you will be getting access, right? Because YouTube is there, it will fetch your data from the browser, from browser backend. It will take who is this guy asking YouTube. So browser will send the this guy is trying to access application, then you will get access to the YouTube, Play Store, Gmail, Calendar, newsletter, and so Google Duo. All these are like Google Shoot, right? Once you get access for the Google Gmail, then you will get access for all these shoots. So yeah, let's say I can click on some application like Google Maps or something, or Gmail is there, calendar is there. So let's say calendar. Once I hit on the calendar, it will take you to my calendar without asking any credentials. So you can see here, this is my calendar and it is populated value, right? Like this. So if you take other, applications, drive, photos, something like all this, right? You know, so translator, so meeting, shopping, so docs, contacts. So the contacts which are I stored on the Google, it will give the contact. So in this way, it will give you the access for all these applications. We can say it's a single sign-on, but we don't know right how it is configured all the things. In our point of view, we can see the things how it is working. So for integrating this application, basically we required the protocols, right? So if you are accessing any URL, you are using HTTPS protocol, right? Similarly, when you are accessing an application from Okta dashboard, and that is going to send your details with the account, then in backend it is going to use protocols, right? Not only HTTPS, there are some other protocols like SAML, OAuth, OpenID Connect, SWA, WSFed. These are the four, majorly 4 or 5 categories of protocols are there. When if you want to integrate any application with Okta, so you need to get that protocol. So fine. So we have discussed all the things about Okta. What are the competitors for Okta? So we need to know about the competitors of Okta, right? All these are the competitors for Okta only. SailPoint, Oracle, Postgres, IAM. Even though these are on-premise solutions, they are competitors only because they are also doing identity management solutions. So in Okta is also have Okta uh, Identity Now, right? IIQ and Identity Now. IIQ is the identity management solution. Identity Now is the access management solution, and that to cloud, correct? So Postgres is also having OpenAM, OpenIDM. We called as OpenIDM is identity management in Postgres, and Open OpenAM means access management. So Savient is basically identity management solution only. So is a product coming, and one more big dealer, I mean like big competitor for Okta is Azure AD. Azure AD. So we call it as AAD. So AAD is giving all the functionality that identity and access management. We can integrate the applications with the Azure AD also. So why this is big competitor? Because this is the product of Microsoft, right? Microsoft. So big fish. So Microsoft Microsoft own product Azure AD. That's why it is a big competitor for Okta. So yeah, uh, other any other cloud solutions we have. This is the Azure AD's cloud solution, and other cloud solutions is IDaaS, Identity as a Services. Something they are called. It's of OCI, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Cloud infrastructure. So it's based on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. We call IDaaS, Identity and Access Services. So this is Oracle's cloud solution. IDCS also we call it as IDCS, Identity Cloud Services. They call it IDCS, IDaaS, IDCS. So Oracle having their IDCS solution. Um, it is also similar to Okta only. They will give you the tenant URL, and then you need to uh, customize the things. So how we will customize? For example, identity and access management is there. So for single user, we cannot use all this infrastructure, right? For a single user, can't we put all this infrastructure? No, we can't put for a single user because we can manually manage them. But if you take an organization wide, you will be having lakhs of users. So how these users are going to come into Okta? So let's say this is Okta, and how these users are coming into Okta is either by Active Directory AD or other applications like HRMS. So from HRMS also users comes into Okta. From AD also users are comes into Okta, and then they will put they will be accounts will be created into the other applications by pushing them. So there are two methods with the pull and push. So pull is the thing which are coming into the Okta, and push is the which is Okta pushing the accounts to the and applications. So let's say these are applications. These are applications. So basically onboarding an application use identities into Okta using Active Directory or application using application HRMS, AD or CSV file we can do. So piece of CSV file. So if you have some limitation like 10,000, only 10,000 records we can put into the file, and it is some 10 MB something like the limitation is there. So only 10,000 users can create at a time. But if we take AD, we can create uh, as much as possible. So this is HRMS. HRMS. So once user is created here, automatically he will be created into Okta. From here, he will be pushed into the different applications endpoints. And let's say if it is, we can assume AD is also an endpoint means then once he created in Okta, then he will be created into AD. Or if you take AD as a source of truth, then if account is created in AD, then it will be created into Okta. So source of truth is nothing but where the identity structure is having a unique value. For example, HRMS is there. In most of the implementations, HRMS is the source of truth. So whatever the identity update is there, then it will be pushed to the Okta and from to the downstream application. So if whatever the changes we want to make applied on the identity means we need to reach out to the HRMS only, because this is the source of truth. If you do any changes on the Okta side, it won't reflect, it won't happen because HRM is having the control of identity, right? If you do any modification on Okta side also, it automatically override the updates on next job performed. So every day the jobs will be performed on identities. So those jobs will what it will do? It will uh, revoke the change. Let's say you take what's the identity here and you change something last name and email address. On the next day job runs, right? HRMS will send the same record with the last details. Then automatically the changes which is you did in the Okta will be revoked and last changes will be applied. So if you want to do any changes here, then you need to reach out to the HRMS only because this is the source of truth. So once you do any changes here, that will be pushed into the Okta, and Okta will be pushing into the downstream applications like that. So this is how the things will be working here. So any doubts on this, Okta?
No, sir. It was clear.
Yep. Okay. Rakesh, any doubts?
No doubts.
Okay. So how it will be helpful for you in the career is means now this tool is having a lot of market. I mean, like not only this one, identity management and access management is the part of cyber security. So you know, right, cyber security will be having a lot of opportunities. So the best way to come into the cyber security is like identity management solutions. If you take others in other solutions means like if you want to come to the cyber security, either you need to be a penetration tester, uh, or you need to be a network engineer, or you need to be a something like security operations engineer or host security. There are like different kind of roles are there. If you come from there, then only you will be part of cyber security. So again, going back and working on networks, all those things is a time-taking process. So if you want to go with cybersecurity pool, if you want to join the cybersecurity pool, the other best alternative method is identity access management solution. If you join that, you will be also part of a cybersecurity team, and you are also eligible for CISSP certification. One of the most uh, demanded certificate in this world is CISSP. So which is offered by ISS Square. So this certificate, I think, if you take in this entire world, there are like not more than 1 lakh. I mean, like 1,10,000 users only people are there who are certified. If you take India, only 3 to 4,000 users, certified persons are there for CISP. So identity and access management is also one one part in CISSP certification. So network security and identity management and access management, and then infrastructure and IT management. Like this, we have 8 domains. In 8 domains, identity and access management is also subdomains in CISSP certification. So this is how it will be helpful for the growth in the career. So yeah, uh, coming to your work, right, was so let's say if you are an application developer, so if you have an application, right, basically when you develop an application, you need to develop authentication method also, right? So how
Yes.
users are going, yeah, how users are going to authenticate with this application. So you need to create a code for that. So login screen, username,
Yeah, we will be creating login screen and giving the authentications.
your authentication source.
Yeah,
So
username, password.
yeah, if you bring identity and access management solution in between, so your authentication code can be removed, and you can apply with Okta's authentication mechanism, and then with the help of the protocols that we have. So SAML, OpenID Connect, OAuth, and WSFET, and SWA is like proprietary protocol of Okta. So with that, we can change the authentication method. So if you take let's say 100 applications, means basically we can reuse the code for other applications also, but there are some changes required for other applications also, like creating authentication policy for all these applications is a complex for developers also. So with the help
Yes.
of this access management solution, we can reduce that burden on developer. They can concentrate on the business logic rather than on authentication so code. So in business logic, they can check over their things. So later on, uh, authentication uh, piece, what the authentication piece which is there can be delegated to the Okta or identity management solution. They can take over it, and then they can integrate it. Uh, that way we can do it. Yeah. Apart from that, so basically, only authentication means authentication will be performed. But what about granular security? Granular security means OTP, one-time password.
Okay.
We call it as MFA, multi-factor authentication. So that is also huge task for the developer to implement MFA. So on the application side, so once you integrate with Okta, Okta will give the chance of Okta have its own MFA policies. So I mean, like MFA factors, Okta Verify, Google Authenticator, SMS, email verification, and biometric verification. There are like 8 to 9 factors types are there. With that factors, we can put a extra security on your applications. So we can put one more layer on the MFA as MFA. And we have one more extra security, adaptive access management. So based on user behavior, it will give the access. For example, Vasta is logging from AP so and so location. So In the browser, it will see, so from where you log in. If you see the Okta logs also, you can say like where she is logging from. So currently I'm from Vijayawada and 40 kilometers away from Vijayawada. So it is taking my geographical location from Hyderabad. Actually, it is near to me, right? So in the browser, it takes my location as a Hyderabad. So as soon as if I log in with my credentials in the US means it's not possible, right? Within 5 to 10 minutes, how I can log into the US system? Let's say in US, one more system is there. How can I log in? So Okta will detect this behavior. So no, it's not possible because it will take 24 hours to travel from uh,
Okay.
India to US. So Okta will put a control here. Hey, this is guy is suspicious. I have to block him. So what it will do, it will check. Okay, last login is from Hyderabad, but the current login is from US. It is more than 24 hours. It's less than 24 hours. If you take, if you go with the speed also, like it's not it's 12 it's 12 hours
Not
also. It's like
possible. Yeah.
not possible. Within 5 minutes,
Yeah.
how
Okay.
you going to log in? It's a behavioral detection. With that behavioral detection, Okta will block the your timing from the new system. So that's how it put adapt to authentication. So there are a lot of features are there in the Okta where we can discuss in the later state of the course. So how we can create this identity with manually. So manually also we can create our identity on Okta. With applications also we can create our identity on Okta with a directory integration. So let's say AD is a directory integration, directory sector, right? So from there, how it is going to create into Okta. So with a CSV file, in a CSV file, we can put 10,000 records and push them into the Okta. Then how it is going to create the identity here. And we have with the APIs also. With the APIs, how you are going to create identity for Okta. So all these things are there in the Okta. So you can play with it. So yeah, any questions? Or you can ask
No,
any.
but actually, Okta is not independent, right? It should have some like HRMS is should like it is the compulsory process you are saying, right?
Yeah, yeah. So in
Yeah,
if you
like
take every
uh,
organization,
if
yeah,
not
correct.
HRMS, Active Directory must be
Should be
there.
there. Should be there.
Okay.
So this who will decide this infrastructure? So organization wide management will team management team will decide this organization structure. I mean, so users, I want HRMS to come here and then move users into here, and then they need to
Okay.
be into the different applications. So let's say some organization they will say that no, I want my AD to be integrated with Okta. So no need to bother about AD. We need to bother about Okta only because AD team will be there. Just we will install the agent that will be discussed on the later course. How we will install, how we will connect. This connection is our our responsibility. This connection our responsibility. This connection our responsibility. So for this connection we have the protocols for application SAML, OAuth, OpenID connect. So let's say for HMRS also you have a skim connector SCIM. So for AD, right? Let's say for AD is also we have a connector that is called AD agent. So it's our responsible to install that AD agent and get it connected with Okta. So how we will see all this how we will establish connection. We will see in the later part of the course. So it's like all the GUI methods, no need of thing, extract or coding, all the things. Yeah. It's like a process oriented. You need to know the process. That's all.
Okay.
So what process you need to follow for installing the AD agent. Let's say you need software and you need a server. You put your software on the server and install it. And then already the AD is there. AD credentials you need to put on the AD agent, and after credentials you need to put on the AD agent. And both he AD agent will act as a broker in between and it will communicate with your AD and Okta. So this is how users AD agent will push our users into the Okta, and any updates into the Okta will be pushed back to the AD. So there are like many features that we can discuss in the later part of the course. Yeah. Yeah. Any questions?
Questions from
So these protocols are there, right? So in Okta, we have like 7,000 applications, pre-built 7,000 applications. So these 7K applications already have their template. Just you need to put URL and then service account. That's all. Then the connection will be established with the application. If our application is not there within these 7K applications, we need to create a custom application. We can create that also in Okta with the help of our course. So how we will create a custom application, how we can push the users to the that application. So basically we need to do a lifecycle management. Lifecycle management is nothing but crude operations on identity. Create, update, deactivate, modify, all these things, right? Read.
yeah.
Yeah, those operations. So so any questions, Sir Rakesh? Do you have any questions?
I have one, I mean, like one fundamental question. I think this is the reason if we have 7,000 applications, you said 7,000 connectors, right?
Yeah.
So 7,000 applications we can connect easily. So if somebody is good at configuration, some basic things, they can handle their jobs, correct?
Yes. Yes. Correct.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
Ramakrishna.
Yeah. Um, yeah.